Look, man, this one's different. You ever have those moments where you talk to someone who really gets history, spirituality, culture, and suddenly the whole world feels more connected than you ever imagined? That's what hit me today when we talk about global unity and especially Islam's role in that conversation. It's not light stuff. It's deep. It's layered. And honestly, something people rarely talk about, mostly because what we see out there is filtered through media noise, propaganda, politics, and confusion. But when you zoom out, step back, and look from a wider human perspective, you start to notice something powerful. There's something in Islam, something in its principles that speaks across borders, across hearts. Muslim or not, you can't deny it's been one of the strongest unifying forces in human history. And having a guy like Mel Gibson here to unpack that, man, that's wild. This dude's seen everything. Hollywood, fame, controversy, the ups and downs, and still he's got this deep respect for history and faith. So when he talks about Islam and unity, you're getting a mix of real human experience and pure philosophical thought. That's what I love about these conversations, bro. Podcast isn't just small talk. It's about diving into the stuff people either don't understand or are too scared to touch. We live in a world more connected than ever. Internet, flights, cultures mixing like never before, and yet we're more divided than we've ever been. Wars, identity politics, tribalism, it's chaos. So here's the question: how do we actually unify? How do we build a world where people from totally different backgrounds can coexist without tearing each other apart every day? That's where Islam steps in, because for over 1400 years, this religion has had a framework, a system designed for unity, people of every color, every language, every social class, all coming together under one God, one belief, one pattern of worship, prayer, fasting, charity, pilgrimage. Think about it, man. Muslims in Indonesia, Nigeria, Bosnia, New York, all praying the same way, facing the same direction, reciting the same words. Rich or poor, black or white, king or worker. In the mosque, everyone stands shoulder to shoulder. That's not just ritual. That's real equality. A living system built for unity, and the modern world, man, it's starving for that. So when Mel and I started digging deeper into this topic, he said something that really stuck with me. When you look at Islam, not through fear or politics, but through the lens of human civilization, you realize it's a glue, force that's been binding people together for centuries. And man, that hit hard, because yeah, every civilization has conflict, has wars. That's human nature. The core of Islam isn't about division. It's about unity, peace, submission to one God, and treating people with dignity. And when you strip away all the stereotypes, exactly what you see. Think about the Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. Millions of people every year, same place, same white clothes, same rituals. You look at that and tell me that's not the purest picture of human unity. It's raw, it's spiritual, it's primal. It shows what's possible when ego drops and humanity takes over. So yeah, the real question becomes, how does that same spirit of unity translate into today's broken world? How do we take that 1400-year-old system and apply it to modern life, politics, technology, culture wars? Mel said something that blew my mind. He said, man, it's not about reinventing the wheel, about rediscovering the principles. Because people today, we're lost in materialism and chasing fame in social media noise. We've forgotten how to connect at a soul level. Islam, it offers that path, not just for Muslims, but as a blueprint for humanity. It shows how to build unity through discipline, faith, and community. That hit home for me. I'm not Muslim, but I respect anyone who's found a system that gives them peace, purpose, and resilience. And I've noticed Muslims have this grounded presence, man. They know who they are. They know why they're here. And they've got this massive community behind them. And in a world full of loneliness, depression, and chaos, that's something powerful. That's something the modern world desperately needs. Mel even went into how Islam preserved knowledge during Europe's Dark Ages, how Muslim scholars kept science and philosophy alive when the rest of the world was falling apart. Without that, there might not even have been a Renaissance. And I was like, dude, that's crazy, because you never hear that in school. You never hear that in mainstream talks. But it's true. Islam wasn't just a religion. It was a civilization that pushed humanity forward in science, trade, culture, and art. And that's part of global unity too, because real unity isn't just about praying together. It's about learning, growing, and building together. Now here's where it gets real. Mel looks at me and goes, "Man, Islam has always been part of the global story. People just don't see it that way." And he's right, because today, the world feels like it's falling apart. Divisions everywhere. You've got people fighting over race, gender, politics, identity. It's madness. And the system wants it that way, bro. Divided people are easier to control. Mel said, if people actually looked past the noise, past the extremism, and saw Islam for what it really teaches, unity, equality, the whole world could change. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because it makes total sense. Look around. The West talks about freedom and democracy, but at the same time, drowning in division. Meanwhile, Islam, with all its human flaws, still offers a blueprint for unity that transcends all that. One God, one direction, one brotherhood. Timeless wisdom, man, that's something the modern world has forgotten. See, Islam isn't asking everyone to convert. It's saying, learn from this structure. The discipline, the community, the equality, those values are medicine for a sick, divided world. And when Mel said that, I realized maybe that's why Islam gets attacked so much. It represents a kind of independent unity that can't be controlled by money or power. It scares the people who profit from division. He said, Joe, fear sells, division sells. That's why they push propaganda, because Islam's message, we're all equal under one God, it threatens the system. And bro, that made me pause. Think about it. People in power need us fighting. They keep us arguing over the small stuff while they sit above it all, pulling strings, making profits. And here comes Islam saying, forget the ego, forget the race, forget the status. We're all servants of one creator. That's revolutionary. That's powerful. That's the kind of mindset that could literally reshape the world. And that's why this conversation with Mel felt so important. It's not just about religion anymore. It's about the survival of humanity. If we don't learn how to unite, really unite, we're done. We've got nukes, AI, climate collapse, addiction, loneliness, all spinning out of control. And maybe, just maybe, the lessons of Islam, humility, prayer, charity, brotherhood, are exactly what we need to pull ourselves back from the edge. So I asked Mel straight up, do you really think Islam could be the foundation for global unity in the 21st century? And he just looked at me and said, Joe, it already is. The world just hasn't realized it yet. And I was like, whoa, what do you mean by that? He said, think about it. Islam is already global. It spans continents, languages, and cultures. It's not owned by one race or one country. It's everywhere, from the deserts of Arabia to the skyscrapers of New York, from African villages to Asian islands. Already a worldwide system. People just don't frame it that way, and he's right. Once you start seeing it like that, it's not theory, it's proof. Islam has already done what the world claims it's trying to do, unite people. Then we started talking about the psychology behind the fear. Why does the media paint Islam like this giant threat? And Mel said something deep, because unity is dangerous to people in power. Division keeps them rich. Fear keeps them in control. And that's the truth, man. You keep people scared. You can sell wars. You can sell politics. You can sell narratives. But when people unite under one purpose, one belief, one creator, that can't be controlled. Mel said, that's why Islam matters now more than ever. Because it's not just spiritual unity. It's social, economic, political. It's a force that could reshape the world if people just looked at its core values instead of the noise. And I thought, damn, that's it. Maybe that's why Islam gets misrepresented, because it doesn't fit the system of greed and division. It challenges it. And when you look at history, it all makes sense. The golden age of Islam, Jews, Christians, Muslims, all lived together, traded knowledge, shared science, and built civilizations. Baghdad, Cordoba, Cairo, they were centers of wisdom, not war. And today, the world desperately needs that energy back. Because yeah, technology has connected us, but spiritually, we're more divided than ever. And Islam, man, it's like this living example of what real unity looks like. It's not about forcing one belief on everyone. It's about showing that faith, discipline, and humility can hold billions together. And that's something the modern world can learn from. And as Mel said, the idea of one God, one humanity, that's the cure. people could just see past their pride and remember we all come from the same source, it could shift everything. And I couldn't agree more, bro. Because at the end of the day, that's what this whole talk was about. Not religion, not East versus West, but humanity versus ego. And Islam reminds you to bow down, to remember that you're human, to remember that God is above you, and that act alone, that humility, could save us all. Yeah. When people ask me why I love these kinds of conversations, this right here is why. Because sometimes the truth doesn't come from where you expect it. Sometimes it takes a guy like Mel Gibson, a man from Hollywood, to sit down and say, hey, maybe Islam's been showing us the blueprint all along. And if that's not worth thinking about, I don't know what is.